All right. Hello, Illiah. I am so excited to have you here. This will be what, like your third time on the podcast, even though today is going to be a little different because today we're going to do some coaching and dive into your business.
I'm so excited for this, Liz. Thank you so much for inviting me on your podcast. I
Yeah,
think it is my third time, and if I sound a little bit nasally, I'm just getting over the flu.
I know so many people are sick right now, and I appreciate you still being willing to do this. It's like a crazy time of year before the holidays. But so you've been on the podcast before, and we'll include some of those links in the show notes so people can kind of get like this professional businessy taste of you. But what we're going to do today is a little different. We're going to be like peeking behind the curtain, and Ilya has given me permission to coach her on whatever comes up. So it's going to take me a few minutes to probably like switch my identity from Liz, the podcast host, into Liz, the coach. So we'll kind of get into that context. But tell everyone, just to get us started and to get my wheels turning, like where do you want your business to be? You know, a year from now, 2 years from now, you can be as dreamy and Delulu as you want, and kind of like where it is now. Welcome back to the Messy Success Podcast, where your growth is our favorite topic. I'm Elizabeth Henson, and on this channel, we share behind the scenes of building a business using our community based marketing and real life lessons to make business easy and profitable. We help you combine your Dharma, your skills, and your offers to build the business of your dreams on your terms. I don't give average business advice. I hate to tell you, but I'm here to help you unlock your superpowers that are already within you. So make sure you follow along, hit that subscribe button, and I promise you'll start becoming more magnetic and see your own community grow around your brand.
Okay. Well, I will start with my vision that began at the beginning of 2025. And I have experienced this wild, beautiful journey over 2025 where I've spiritually awakened and developed my gifts in a way that I never saw coming. Uh, in the future of my business, and even now I'm doing it, I'm incorporating my gifts a little bit with being trained as a Reiki master and my intuition and psychic mediumship. But I would love to have an agency full of like minded, aligned individuals where we have a consultancy kind of agency where we come together and offer a holistic service menu of branding services. Everything from brand messaging and human design readings to Reiki and energy healing, which give us just crazy amounts of insight that sometimes people are aware of or unaware of. Turn all of those intangibles into tangible messaging, visuals, and marketing.
I love this. And this really is very different for you. I mean, you've always been very warm and intuitive and had this like stoic way about you, but it's like we're in the logic so much until we kind of experience some of the spiritual awakening. And for some people, it can be as simple as just learning the power of silence or meditation, right? It doesn't have to always
Yes.
be as extensive as human design or mediumship, but there's this evolution of our being and learning to trust our own consciousness. And that's kind of like what I feel like you have stirred up is like, it doesn't have to all be logical or make sense.
And what I've come to understand in my own process as a brand designer is that those two sides of me are constantly in a battle.
Mm,
Whenever I am experiencing creative block, it is because my logical mind wants to fight with my intuition, and my intuition is always stronger at the end of the day.
yes, it's always stronger and it feels different in our body. Like their intuition is always going to be truth and like the higher self. And sometimes the logic can, I want to say like lie, but it responds from a place of fear, you know?
Yes, the
And
brain, like the brain takes over, and
yeah.
I love it when my heart, my brain, and my spirit are all in sync.
Yes. Okay. And does that feel, when you think about this end result of this agency, does it feel like all of those are in sync?
It does.
Yeah.
Yes. But
So tell us where
yes,
you are right now as far as like knowing that you have this vision, but what is your actual reality right now?
Liz, I am in the chaos of mess. I'm I am doing my very best to enjoy this process.
I love that you said chaos of mess. I just want to pause because I'm like, Amanda, this could be a great title. The chaos of the mess. I don't know. It's just so relatable. Okay, keep going.
Chaos of mess. It is the best way to describe it. Yeah, so many things happened in 20 this year that I could not never have predicted. I kind of did predict what I'm going to say next 3 years ago. Met the communications director at my children's school, and I very subconsciously was like, I can do that job. I'm going to be doing that job someday. And when I got an email that she was vacating this position, 2 days later, I had sent an email to the principal saying exactly that. It's like, I can do this. I'm going to be good at this, and you should hire me.
Yeah, but that's like there's something that's meant for you there for it to go down that way. Like this was not forced. This was like something that you said 3 years ago and then all of a sudden boom, it was like placed in front of you. So that feels like really on purpose.
It feels real in purpose, and there's a lot of lessons here for me to learn, and also it feels like a nice little pause button so that I found myself kind of recalibrating in life because my business CNV is successful and thriving, and I think it's well respected.
Mhm.
And at the same time, I was paying myself half of what I'm getting paid now. And also, what I've learned is that every single sale, every single client I onboarded felt like its own interview process. So what I've like looking back in hindsight, what I'm seeing is I interviewed once, kind of, and now suddenly I'm getting a salary and
Mhm.
I'm not having to re-interview for that salary I make each month,
Each
right?
client over and over and over. Yeah.
Over and over and over. And you build up this resilience and this adaptability and this ability to keep doing that and keep wanting to do that, right? But sometimes when life gets too full and there's so many layers of life and that are really, really heavy,
Yeah.
that gets hard.
Yeah. Well,
And
I
that's
mean,
what
I always
happened.
tell people if you're not looking at jobs or applying for jobs at least once a year as an entrepreneur, you're not doing it right.
I spent all of 2024 applying for every appealing job on LinkedIn that was delivered to my inbox. I would say I averaged 2 a month, at
Oh my
least,
gosh. Yeah.
minimum.
And I think that like let's just delete any shame that might be there for you or for anyone listening because I really believe we have to build our business from a place of passion and purpose. And the second that we start chasing the dollars because we have to because we're moms, we have to provide for our families, whatever it might be, but that's when we start getting into that logic that we talked about. And I tell people all the time, if money is like an issue, get a part-time job, get some way to supplement your revenue so that you can reignite, or for you, make this pivot of like finding the passion and the purpose. Because what beautiful timing that in order to build this vision where you want to go, which we're going to continue talking about, you have to kind of tear down what you have.
And that's
And
where I'm at. And I'm
yeah,
terrified to tear it down because I
yeah.
spent 8 years building it up.
Yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
there's gonna be an identity crisis there. I mean, you're gonna go through all the things, and now you have the financial safety to be able to let that happen in actually the most efficient way possible. Because if you were having to keep clients or find clients in the middle of this kind of business identity crisis, that's not gonna go well, and you're gonna be even more stressed, and it's gonna slow down your ability to take on this, like, new identity that you'll need for the agency.
Yes. And I want to maintain so here's another layer is I want to maintain my business while I'm doing this job.
Yeah, well, because you do have a few dream clients, not gonna name any names. You
Liz,
have a few dream clients that I think are completely in support of whatever this pivot ends up being. And I know that you'll continue to serve us and serve us well.
That is my intention.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So we've kind of like defined where you are now that, and you did already have to like shed and let go and like make some changes in order to make this job
I
possible.
did.
But like now you have a day job that's giving you a little bit of financial stability and you see the future of this agency. So what feels like it still needs to happen, or what feels like it's in between like this version of you now and this version of you that you want to go?
I feel like I'm entering that identity crisis of, I'm full time. And I think I told you already that if this job paid me double, I'd be perfectly happy to let everything go and continue just working here. So it is a little bit money sometimes, but it also I see this as a bridge to a future, not an always. I'm too inherently ambitious for that.
Yes, and I think that's what I was kinda just gonna call out is, like, I think a lot of times we can say, "If I had this much money, then I would be fine," but as visionaries, like, we can't really undo that, and I had a quote, unquote, "job." I was actually consulting or contracting, but it paid me very well. I mean, I could have closed my business, and this one consulting gig paid me so well, and it was only for 25 hours a week. Like, I could have done that and been fine. It would have been a healthy salary for me, for my family. 3 months, Ilya, is all I lasted.
3 months.
3 months.
Wow.
And I left because I was being put in a box, and I was being paid a ridiculous amount to copy and paste and be like this regurgitator, and my skills were not being used. So
Yeah.
I do think there are situations where we can be in a job and be happy. Like there's always this part of me, I'm going on a tangent, but I think it's helpful. There's always this part of me that feels like the right company could come along that really believes in me and who I am and my skill set and buy out my business, and I could be this entrepreneur visionary for a company that I believe in. I think there's worlds where that happens and we can be fulfilled and like still everything that makes us an entrepreneur can still exist. But in that particular situation, everything that makes me an entrepreneur was not allowed to flourish. So there was no amount of money that could have made me happy.
Yeah.
So right now you're really in this like financial security, and like if they paid me double, like I could do this forever, and that could be true. But I think there would always be part of you that's like, "Oh, but what if? What if I
For
explored the
sure.
agency?" You know?
Oh, for sure. I'm too indoctrinated as an entrepreneur at this point.
Yeah.
I will say I thought that the transition for me was going to be harder. I thought it
Mm,
was going to be a lot harder because I had been working for myself for 15 years and
yeah.
differing levels of success, but I hadn't been employed or had someone to answer to but myself for that long.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
but this job is flexible, right? Like you're not having to show up at 7 a.m. every single day?
I was just talking with about that with a friend. I think that there's some self-imposed pressure um to be there at 7:30 and
Mhm.
be there until 3 and not take a lunch and you know
Yeah, but it's still very new. You'll get more comfortable in that space.
I'm hoping and I'm going to propose a work from home schedule for myself
Mm,
so then there's expectations of both sides.
yeah, yeah. And you've been, given permission to still have your business, so, like, we're not breaking any rules by having the
No rule
podcast.
breaking.
Yeah. I will say anyone listening that has a day job, you do wanna look at that fine print because sometimes there are companies that won't let you have your own business.
Yes, and it was a discussion for sure because I could not stomach letting go of my business at that point,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay,
I
so when we think about this agency and incorporating the spirituality, and do you feel like you have a clear destination on like when you get really present to that vision? Can you kind of see the parts and the offers and how it all works, or does it still feel very like unclear?
a little bit of both, to be honest with you. When I get very close to that vision, when I'm in a meditative state,
Mm,
I think I've told you in the past that I have this clear vision of a group of women like you and me standing around a kitchen island. feels very much like a retreat. And I am there, and my presence is warm like sunlight, and everybody's laughing and full of joy. And we're all there for a collective purpose. It's a sunlit kitchen. So I've seen that destination, but from here to there feels very clouded
Mhm.
and dark.
Mm,
Like I just need to shine a light, a flashlight or something, turn on the lights, wait for sunrise. I don't know.
yeah.
Um, but that's what it feels like. It feels very mysterious and dark at this moment.
Yeah. I like to think of that sometimes, like, if I could just stay in that meditation with my highest self, right? It's like
Yes.
everything feels so clear. But then once we revert back into our 3D body, we're like, it's like our vibrational frequency has now come down and now we're not making decisions from the same place. So what I would encourage you to do is to
Yeah.
make as many to-do lists or action items from that clear state. And I always have a pen and paper beside me when I'm having silence or meditation because I will get a very clear, this is what you need to do next download. And sometimes it's so simple as just, oh, don't forget to email Illiah and finish up these graphics. It's not always
Yeah.
big or grand. And I think I love this conversation so much because when we have a desired outcome, as long as it's clear, like doesn't have to be crystal clear, like how many clients you're going to have or what the specific offerings are just yet, but somewhat clear and you can see the end result in what you want it to be, then all
Yes.
you need to worry about is like, what is one micro action that makes me feel a hint closer to it?
I love that about you so much. Every time you say that, it gives me so much hope and joy and motivation
And
because I'm like,
permission.
and permit, yeah. So all I need to do is to go back into that future self meditation and be like, okay, this is the repetitive vision I keep getting. What's next? And what's
Yeah.
next? And what's next?
Yeah. One action item. Like, and it could be making changes on your website. It could be writing a new about me section. It could be updating your press page or, booking on another podcast. I mean, it can be the smallest action, but you'll know in your body of like, is this moving me closer to that destination or is this actually moving me the same or moving me in a different direction?
And I think that's what I've been feeling lately is that question. Am I moving in a different direction than I had envisioned for myself or is different than what my ultimate purpose on this earth is to do?
Mm,
I know that my ultimate purpose is to work for iconic women to amplify their voices and live their greatest dreams, right?
mhm.
And while I'm doing that, simultaneously being a role model for my girls.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
how do you think the spirituality component fits into that? Like when you say iconic women, do they have to kind of be in the spiritual realm or belief system? Or is that just how you're going to be serving them? Is there any like clarity around that?
Yeah. I think you're asking about niching down.
Well, I think I do see your current brand definitely speaks to iconic women 100%. So when we think about taking that current brand into this more spiritual agency that includes human design, and Reiki, do you feel like you're carrying that word iconic with you?
I think iconic is a mindset in the women that I work with.
Mhm.
I think every single woman I've worked with over the last 2 years is iconic.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah. And
Yeah,
I
so it's
keep
an and, it's not an or.
right, it's an and.
Yeah, yeah.
And the spirituality piece, I think, is open ended for me.
Mhm,
I think that intuition is available for everyone,
mhm.
but it comes in different shades and colors. To have people have different beliefs. So I think that it's an open ended question that my client can answer for themselves.
Yeah. And I'm almost see like, people kind of joke and they say I'm like a business healer, right? But it's like you could be like the brand healer, you know? Yeah. And I think when I think about the people that we have overlap that we work with, like they are 100% iconic and they have this strong belief in like self-development or healing, you know?
Yes, they do. They are
Yeah.
always on a quest to explore themselves more fully as they grow and evolve, not just in business, but just them in general
Yeah.
as people.
So I love this moment right now because this is when I have these coaching moments with people where I'm like, you're already doing it, right? Like this vision that you see,
Yes,
other than like the bringing in the other experts for the agency piece, like you haven't necessarily done that, but the work
I started
is
it.
like, you're already doing it.
Okay. And here's where I always push back it, and because it doesn't feel that way. It
Right.
feels very messy. It feels like all of these different roles, both professionally and personally, are always pulling me in all these different directions, like a Christmas cracker.
Mhm, mhm. Okay,
So
so this is great. So what specifically comes up when you're like, "I'm being pulled in all these different directions?"
I think it's the fact that I am constantly just wanting to do all the things all at once, all the time,
Mm,
and I will go further than that. It's not that I want to do them, it is required of me.
mhm,
I'm a I'm a single mom of a autistic teenager with 2 jobs now
mhm.
and a lot of family things going on at this moment.
Yeah, personal life is lifing.
Yeah, roll in all of the change and the transition.
Mhm.
It feels like every single piece of me is has some kind of tension being pulled.
Yeah. Okay, so it's more about
Mm.
like new business vision is a direction, family, personal life is a direction, and then the job is a direction. It's not necessarily because when I say you're already doing it, I'm referring to just like the new vision bubble.
Okay,
Like,
yes. New
yeah,
Vision Bubble has been in development for April.
yeah. So did was that from Elevate and Inspire?
You know?
I'm like, my ears perked up when you said April. Okay, so the new vision bubble, does any part of that feel like you're
Okay.
conflicted or torn? If we kind of separate like family life bubble, that's always going to be there. Where shit is going to always hit the fan. And then the job is something that is providing you positive security. So that's kind of in
Yes.
its own bucket right now too. So
Yes.
when we think about the new vision and the business, is there anything in that that feels conflicting or like at war?
You know what? It feels good to shelve some of these books,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, we put them in the
So
parking lot.
yeah, yeah. I did this really beautiful vision exercise with another coach who kind of installed a library in my head. So all of these volumes of books belong in there, and I just take them down. And right now they're all in a pile on the floor.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
it's
shelve
almost
some of
like I
these.
envision like 3 shoe boxes at the top of your closet, and so it's like when the life stuff is lifing, like, "Okay, we're gonna take out that shoe box right now, and the other 2 are gonna go back up." And it's like you have to constantly, like, take one down and put so the other 2 have to always be up there. That might help you from feeling so, like,
It's
they all
such a
have to be open
beautiful
at the same time.
exercise. Yeah, it's such a beautiful exercise, and it's so helpful.
Yeah,
Okay, so just the future vision of my business bubble is
yeah.
in front of us at this moment. And what
Yes.
feels hard about this vision bubble is that tunnel
Mhm,
that I'm in
mhm.
and also the time. And because I know you like, 5 minutes, these micro tests are so helpful and they move the needle more than possible. But
Mhm.
what happens when those you don't have even have time or mind space to think about those micro moments?
Mm.
Because I've got you know what I mean?
Yeah, the mind space is such a good one because I feel that, especially, like, with young kids, like, I'm getting out of that realm now, but the young kids, I feel like the brain space is so important. But our quality of our life and business is determined by the quality of the questions that we ask ourselves.
Okay.
So it might look like, "God, I really don't have a lot of brain space today. What do I have brain space for?" And that might be meditating, taking a walk, reading a book. The rest is part of the work. So if you don't have
Mhm.
mind space, brain space, what can you do to take a bath? Like create some of that. And in that silence, you will get the answer to what's a 5-minute task that I do have capacity for today.
Summer was just in my head.
When I said take a bath, go for a walk.
No, no. Well, yes, yes. What? Yes. When you said you create the mind space for yourself, I'm like, oh, Summer. Yes, the advice she gives is so good, and the advice that came to I was hearing from in her my head from her was, Illiah, you need to be more creative. Creative for creativity's sake. You're not being creative enough.
Yeah.
You have to. She wants me to get uncomfortably creative,
Mm,
and that is the mind space that I'm craving.
yeah.
So it's just those constant reminders because it's really hard.
My gosh. That just a light bulb moment just went off for me when you said that because the moments where I actually feel like I don't have brain space are the moments I'm actually not doing anything. Like when I'm kind of in this weird, like I call it like a holding tank where it's like I'm downstairs because I know my kids are going to ask for something at any moment. And I'm like cleaning up the kitchen or I'm thinking about what bills need to be paid, but I'm not actually in a productive, creative state.
Yes.
And that's when I feel the most sense of like my brain is full or the overwhelm because rather than doing, I'm thinking. And so getting out of the thinking and into the doing
Yeah.
or the creating, I think is really important. And that's kind of what you just said.
It is so important. And what I'm needing is some kind of structure in that. Like I come home at 3 or maybe sometimes 4, whatever it is. Let's say 3:30. I come home at 3:30. 3:30 to 4 is my creative time. Non-negotiable, right?
And does that help you wind down? Do you feel like that helps you transition from like day job to like home?
I don't know. I've only been in this job for 2 months.
Yeah, yeah.
So, it's a really good thing to try, and I know
Yeah,
from before that yes, it is an exceptional thing for me to do any time of day, any transition, day to night. It doesn't matter as long as I'm being creative, then it feels good, and it doesn't matter if it's 20 minutes or 3 hours. It could be
yeah,
5 minutes. It doesn't
yeah,
it doesn't matter.
yeah. And just pay attention to that window because I transitions can feel tricky sometimes. But if like as long as you feel like that creativity is helping you move from kind of one shoebox to the other, then I think that's excellent. Like I know for me, body movement, somewhat exercise like helps me really transition from like we're putting the brain the work shoebox away and we're getting the family shoebox out. But for you that could be creativity.
Well, and it also changing clothes. Changing
Yeah.
whatever I'm wearing is such a great way for me because whatever I am wearing is an expression, a full of expression of my creativity anyway. So
Mhm.
changing my outfit from school to home, home to school doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah.
It sets the tone. And so what I'm struggling with also is this push and pull of my time, being able to serve my retainer clients, which I only have 4 at this moment. Um, plus a couple of side projects. And being at school for how 8 hours, did I say 8 hours a day?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
lot. I mean, this is a big transition for you because your daytime work hours that were dedicated to your clients, you now are having to give to the other job. And now the clients are having to fit in, like days, nights, weekends, lunch breaks, whatever you have. So that is going to be a transition. And I think that means that this will, to some extent, be a season of hustle.
It's
And I don't necessarily mean hustle in a bad way because hustle is kind of a state of mind. But I also feel like we are, as business owners, we have to give ourselves permission to like hustle or sprint, like where we're just working harder. I mean, I say all the time, I sprint in the fall and the spring and I rest in the summer and the winter. So this is just going to be a season for you of like, we're just putting the pedal to the metal a little bit more than we usually would. But the end goal, is that you're speeding up so that you can slow down later.
I love that. Yeah. And I also wanna make so I when I started working this job, I didn't know if it was going to last the rest of the school year. I didn't know if I was going to do it for 3 years. Who knows? And what I do know is that I can't foresee any kind of job growth in this current role.
Mm, mhm,
And so do see it as temporary. I
mhm.
just don't know how temporary. So I want to get to a place where my business is sustaining us again.
Yeah, yeah, so that that transition can feel easy. Yeah. So I think the key is just gonna be those micro actions, and you're gonna have to give time to your clients, and hopefully with most of us, that helps you feel creative to an extent and fills up some of that bucket, but I really think the 5-minute micro actions moving you towards this end goal is gonna be your savior.
Okay.
What did I say the other day? I had a really good phrase that I wrote down the other day, and it had the word, "Your service is your savior." That's what it was.
Your service is your savior.
Your service is your savior, because when we provide great service from our dharmatic state, I think I made that word up, but I like it, then that is kind of what fulfills us and makes us happy and successful in all the things, you know? So to be of service, there's part of you that is doing the work that you're already doing, but also the part of you that holds this vision is to be of service and to make these iconic women have more positive impact in the world.
Yes.
Yeah.
So my goal then is to do the best job I can at my current employer, to keep a creative practice non-negotiable,
Mhm.
to do at least one thing that a micro what did you call it?
Like a micro
Micro task?
action. Yeah,
Micro
micro
action.
task. Yeah.
At least one micro action to keep growing the business towards my vision
Mhm.
and serve my current clients with everything I have.
Yeah. But everything you have might it doesn't have to be like you're pouring from an empty cup. Everything it can all make sense. And so much of it making sense, no matter how full our plate is, right? No matter how many things we're taking on, our way of being and in which that we do that is what makes it all easy or difficult. So if we say it's gonna be hard, then we're just telling the universe and ourselves, and our brain is gonna believe that it's gonna be hard.
Mhm.
So why don't we just get playful with our brain and say, "This could be easy. If this could be easy, what would I do today? If this could work really smoothly, what would I do today?" And as long as we're asking and presenting that opportunity to our brain, it's going to make a different choice than if we just sit in, "I'm doing too much, I've got too much going on." Your brain's gonna believe you. Like, your brain will believe
Mhm.
what you tell it. So let's tell it that this can be amazing.
Yeah, and actually what I told myself when I started this is going to give me the spaciousness I need in my business to start playing in it again.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, and your micro action might just be getting a post on Instagram, because to me that creates relevancy, and if you post every day on Instagram or 3 times a week, whatever feels good to you on any whatever social platform is your choice, but if you do that every single day, it's impossible for that not to have a positive impact.
It would require me to stop being so curated on my Instagram, which is
Yes.
actually a very good thing to do.
Mhm.
Is my
Mhm.
advice for everyone, stop being curated on Instagram. It's not serving you.
Yeah, and it's not what people want anymore. Like, people want a break
No.
from AI. They want authentic, they want real human to human connection. So, now is the time on social to just be who we are and not, I'm in Canva less and less and less, these days. And I used to be in there every day because the curation piece was important. And now it's like, no, what can I do that's quick and easy and authentic?
Yes. I would love to find a way to be uncurated
Mhm.
and still stay in integrity with my brand aesthetic.
Yeah.
As I consider my Instagram a role model for what it could be, what a
Mhm.
beautifully branded Instagram profile could be,
Mhm.
I still struggle to find a balance.
Yeah, yeah. I hear that, but I also feel like if anyone has the tools, it's you, right? So,
Thank you.
like, it's like the 3 pinned post at the top can be, like, so curated and, like, badass design, right?
Yes.
But then you are your greatest asset. So, just whatever you are that day, whether it's your outfit or talking head or whatever. I don't have all the answers, but the magic is in you even more so than it is in what you create.
I agree with you. I think it's also having a bank of things to say. And
Yeah.
like, I can just imagine, okay, this is my quote that I'm going to say today. This is what I'm going to talk about, 10-minute video, and we're done.
Yeah. Well, and you know what this just made me think about, Ilya? The people that want to hire you the most are usually on, like, let's just say one of our Elevate calls, or you're getting an opportunity to meet with them one on one,
Yes.
even at my event, one on one. They are not even seeing your design in that moment.
It's so true.
They're only seeing you. It's an experience just like you and I are having right now, where it's like my talking head and your talking head. We're on the 2025 version of being on the phone. They're not even looking at your website, and they already know they wanna work with you.
Isn't that a good lesson for everyone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's
Definitely.
important, and I don't wanna, let's not dismantle how important having a good brand is, because it's very important. But I'm just saying, the people that wanna work with you, it's you. It's your connection to them and your authority and how you speak and how you move about the work that you do. They probably already know it's amazing before they even look at your website, because of the energetic signature that you've presented,
Mm,
you know?
I like that. The energetic signature. That sounds like something that I'm going to create.
Yeah.
Ooh, can I just rename my business that?
Yeah, I love that phrase. Yes, your energetic signature.
That's going to be the name of something, if not my future consultancy agency.
Yeah, like master your energetic signature, through branding and Reiki and all the things.
Call Joey up. I need to know the
Your
trademark.
iconic energetic signature.
Oh, I love it. I'm absolutely loving that.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, it's crazy though, because it's like you just said part of your barrier was like fighting against that desire for it to be curated because you feel like you're a leader in that industry. However, what makes you a leader in that industry isn't actually the fact that you're curated. It's just that you're you.
It's your energetic signature, Liz.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, obviously, if you had crappy work, you wouldn't be where you are. So it's like that's kind of a sidebar. But I really, when I think of like the best of the best designers, I think about you and I think about, Chris Beltran. And I'm like, I never even saw his portfolio and I just knew he was good, right?
Thank
Because of
you.
the people he surrounds himself with and the way that, I've seen those clients' brands, kind of evolve or whatever it might be. But you just know, like when you know, you just know.
It's a feeling you
Yeah.
get, just like a gut feeling.
Yeah, but how cool that what you do is, like, people that are truly magic. Like, I love how Summer said when she knew she wanted to work with you, she's like, "I want my outside skin to match my inside skin," of like, "I know I can do this. I know I'm iconic. I know I'm powerful. Now we need that to translate on the outside."
Her brand is one of those where I just allowed my full intuition to take over
Mm.
because I just knew that any kind of logic I was going to put in it wasn't going to work.
Yeah, yeah,
It is one of like that was a very collaborative process. I don't even know that I can call it my design because there's so much of Summer in it
yeah,
because she's an incredible artist in her own right.
yeah.
But that is to date one of my favorite brands I've designed.
I love that, and it's probably, like, very much so in the direction that you're going, which is why it's landing
Mm,
because, it's like she's in that space, she understands that space, and you guys are defining that, together. So, we talked a little bit, I think it was yesterday, about like, ooh, how cool, I have this other designer friend that's, like, done really well because she's so niche. So it's like, what if you really niched into, these iconic women that are doing some of this spiritual work?
I
I think there's
feel
that direction, but I think there's also the more logical women that also love and respect being taken care of spiritually.
yes. I feel like that is a natural progression for me. I don't
Mhm.
know. I think that when I put out the fact that I do Reiki as part of my onboarding now, I think that's going to naturally attract and repel people who love it or
Yes.
hate it.
Yes.
So I think that's going to be supernatural, and I don't
Yeah.
need. I
And
don't.
being okay with, like, the fact that you're gonna repel people. Like, I have learned that the more people I repel, it means I'm getting closer to the people that actually do like love what I have to say,
Oh my
you
gosh, I
know?
feel like if we're not repelling people in our brands, we're not doing it right.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So I'm not I am scared of it,
Yeah.
and also I embrace it. Does that am I making sense there?
I mean, well, this is a pretty big shift to go from just, brand designer from a very marketing hat to like, oh, by the way, like when you work with me, I'm going to do Reiki on you and your business. Like, you know,
And by the way, I'm hiring a human designed brand strategist for you. So
yeah. But
you're
I
going to
mean,
get your profile read and it's going to be part of your leadership profile.
yeah, but the people who believe in that stuff, I mean, they believe in it. So it's like they're going to be all in when they hear that you do that, you know?
Yes.
I mean, I think it calls people in, just as much, if not, more importantly than it repels them.
And by the way, I found my brand strategist stuff through Elevate and Inspire.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
I know.
That's amazing.
She's like a connection of a connection of a connection.
Okay, I was like, I don't remember his stuff, but that makes sense. It's like a connection of a connection. The ripple effect beyond.
You have an unimaginable ripple effect, Liz.
Thank you. Thank you for
All of my
saying that.
all of the good things in my life that came in through 2025 was is directly connected to you.
Well, thank you. Well, I feel like we're a match made in heaven. And I'm like, I tell you and Amanda and Amber all the time. I'm like, I know we're not rich yet, but it's my goal. My goal is to be able to have all of you guys on full time. That would be incredible.
I would put a pause on my agency for that.
Well, I think your agency would branch off, because of it. Like what
For
a
sure.
cool, yeah. Because I mean, look at all your dreamy clients already. They're like kind of coming through that portal. Okay, so I know I'm like we already went in, so I was like, we're gonna go over. I knew it. We are kind of wrapping up on time. I don't know how buttoned up we are in the conversation, but here's the as with my coaching hat. These are the common themes that I'm seeing of so much of like your feeling around all of this is going to be determined by the quality of questions you're willing to ask yourself in these moments. And like using that shoebox analogy, like I'm not being pulled all the directions at once. I get to choose which shoebox I'm going to pull out, and then I'm going to put it back, and then I'm going to go to the next one. And then you're already doing the work to build this agency. It's just really staying in integrity of like, this is my future vision. So I'm going to trust myself and take micro actions towards it. And the days that you don't, we're not going to attach meaning to. We didn't even really get to go into that part, but we are all having a human experience. There are days that I don't touch my business, but I'm not going to shame myself and say that I'm a failure or that it's not okay or that I fell out of integrity. I'm literally just not going to put meaning to it. I get to choose that meaning. I'm a human having a human experience that was busy today. Right? And we waste so much brain space when we live in that shame spiral or what we should have done or what we didn't do, or even just allowing ourselves to choose the belief that we're overwhelmed. So I think you will see an improvement in your productivity by quieting some of that brain noise by just asking yourself the better questions. How does that feel?
It is so good. Can we just hang those on posters on my wall for reminders?
The good
And
thing is we're recording this.
I can go back to this episode anytime I want. Also, what is the better question that I need to be asking myself?
So, like when you said, I'm being pulled in so many different directions or I don't have any brain space, I would
Hmm.
imagine that that's the actual internal narrative that's
Yes.
happening when you're in like a freeze state of like, I just don't have any brain space to do anything right now. So your brain is believing what you tell it. So
Mm.
and there's a redirect that has to happen of you catch yourself saying that and you say, okay, I don't quite have the power to like say that's not true, but I'm just going to ask myself, well, if I did have brain space right now, what would I do or where would it come from? So it's turning that into a question of curiosity. If I wasn't overwhelmed right now, what would that look like? Um,
I love that question. What if I wasn't overwhelmed right now? What would that look like?
yes, yes.
Okay.
Because overwhelm isn't real. Like it's just our state of mind. It means that there's chaotic thoughts that are happening that are probably protecting you from something in that moment. but it's all brain chatter. And if we can just calm that chatter so that we can actually, hear our highest self and what it needs to do, then it's always actually quite simple. Yeah.
Mind blown. Let's.
I
That's
mean,
all we
I
need
hope
every
so.
day.
It's not going to heal overnight, but I have found myself to believe that if I can redirect my thought 30 times, so the next 30 times that you think you're overwhelmed or pulled in multiple directions, you can just be self-aware enough to redirect that 30 times, you will start to embody the new way of being.
Okay.
Yeah.
I accept that challenge.
Yeah. And sometimes it's just noticing like, okay, I can fucking hear myself right now. I know overwhelm isn't real. We'll come back to that later. Right? But it's just allowing yourself to start to believe that like you're creating the overwhelm feeling because there are humans in this world experiencing lifeier life things than you that are able to move through it because they're not allowing themselves to believe that to be true. And this isn't to discredit hard things, but it can be hard and we can move through it with grace
Hmm.
and
Which
not
is
let it,
always my goal, right?
yeah.
That's always my goal, to move through grace, but it's like everything that lives up here as the after effects.
Yes. But you already know when you're in meditation or you're connected to that best version of yourself, that's not lost in the logic shuffle, right? It's like
Mm-mm.
that version of you knows what to do.
Yes,
Yeah.
always.
Yeah. So just trusting that of like, we're going to turn down the chatter, like Rocky's meditation, right? Turn down the chatter and we're going to turn up the volume on that highest self voice, like out of head into the heart. Yeah. James
Yes.
teaches us to like really lean on the heart as a second brain. Have you seen some of those studies that the heart is a second brain?
I honestly believe that, because in my Reiki, in my meditation, in my psychic practice, I've stopped going through my brain and
Mhm.
started entering through my heart. And it is so
Mhm.
much faster and more effective, and the connection is stronger.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Well, this was amazing. I'm excited. We can always do a part 2 in 6 months and see how your progress is going.
An update.
Yes, yes. I love and appreciate you so much. Is there anything you wanna share? I
Likewise.
mean, we'll put how people can find you in the show notes. You've been here, done that before.
Yes.
Anything you wanna share?
Well, I'd love to invite anyone who's listening to a free graphic glow up where I take your one-page Canva design that you've done yourself and teach you how to make it look pretty.
Well, this is like one of my favorite things that you do. Everybody should take her up on that. It's so cool.
It's one of my favorite things that I do.
Yeah, I think it's so smart too. Again, people getting to experience you.
I love it.
Okay, my love, thank you so much for being
Thank
here.
you.
Thank you so much for being here and pushing play today. It absolutely means the world that you have found this podcast or found this YouTube channel, and we wouldn't exist without you. So, if you're curious about finding your next step in business, don't forget to take our next step action quiz at elizabethhenson.co/next. And if you love this podcast or you love this channel, make sure that you hit that subscribe button, share it with a friend, or leave us a review. It truly means everything. And if you have a question or a barrier in your business, we are starting a new series where we're going to be coaching live on air and taking questions and using them as inspiration for the podcast. All you have to do to submit your question, or if you're interested in being a guest on the podcast, is go to elizabethhenson.co/ask. Again, that is specifically if you are open to being vulnerable and sharing about your business and being coached live on air. We hope to hear from you. All right, I'll see you guys next week.